everybody, thank you for tuning into my channel. It has been a long time since I have done a video. I have been back in school upgrading my grade 12 math, so my bandwidth is about that big right now. But I'm here. I'm going to do as many videos as I can while I continue to study. Everything is going really good. I am putting in a ton of effort, but I'm really seeing the benefits of all of the hard work that I've put in over the last 6 to 7 months. So that's really great. I've been thinking a lot about basic healthy eating. I have so many people that ask me what healthy eating looks like, and I do have some guidelines that I want to share with you, but it really does look different for everyone else. Here's one thing that I am so passionate about though, is cutting out sugar from our diet. Now, we're all so different in our makeup. We require different things during different seasons, depending on our activity level, our age, our geographic location. All of these different things are going to change the way that we eat. But when it comes to sugar consumption, everyone's body reacts to sugar in the same way. When I coach my clients to begin eating healthier, the number one thing that I'm looking for that they're consuming a lot of, that they probably don't even know they're consuming a lot of, is sugar. Sugar causes inflammation, it leaches nutrients from our cells, it damages our liver, it puts weight on us, it accumulates fat inside of our liver, and it's highly addictive. So the more sugar that we have, the more sugar that we want. There is a whole chemical system going on inside of our body the minute sugar hits our tongue, and we want more. Now, why I really started to think about this is because, like you, I follow all of these different girls that work out and food bloggers on Instagram and social media, and I love the community and I love seeing what other recipes are created and what kind of workouts people are doing and what other foods people eat in a day that are healthy, that are carrying the health logo and waving that banner. And I started to see a big disconnect. One thing that really caught me off guard was a recipe that I came across from a very well-known food blogger, recipe creator, who touts the word health in her profile. So all of her recipes are quote unquote healthy, but as I'm looking at the recipes that she's posting, I'm seeing an inordinate amount of sugar going into each thing. The sugar, yes, is maple syrup or honey or coconut sugar, but at the end of the day, sugar is sugar. It has the same response inside of our body. Yes, some sugar is lower glycemic than other sugars. Some sugars are kind of better, but in really a big moderation. So we want to be really mindful of the amount of sugar that we're consuming. We have to also then be mindful and educate ourselves about healthy amounts of sugar and what healthy eating actually looks like. So when we come across recipes that have over 200 grams of sugar per recipe, we understand that it's not healthy. The recipe may be gluten-free, it may be vegan, it may be whatever label you want to give it, but if it's got so much sugar in it, it doesn't matter what it doesn't have, it's what it does have that makes it unhealthy. So that was one of the first big things that I saw. The second thing is all of these different gym gals that I follow. I love them, they're great, but their eating habits, though they look kind of healthy, are not that healthy. They're eating things like Nutella and they put sugar in everything, or packets of quick oats with sugar added to it. And I'm just thinking, people are watching you and thinking that this is healthy. Maybe for them, it's okay because they go to the gym, 2 hours a day, 6 days a week and train hard, and they're 23 years old and they've been doing that for the last how many ever years. But for the average person who's looking at them for inspiration, for motivation as that role model, then they're thinking that they can go and do that as well and have those bodies. And maybe they can, but most of the time we can't. If we consume a ton of sugar, a ton of processed food, it doesn't matter how much you work out, you cannot outrun a bad diet. Anything that contains high amounts of sugar, whether in added or natural form, and by natural I mean natural added sugars, that doesn't include fruit or vegetables. If it contains, I'm going to say over 10 grams of sugar per serving, I consider that to be unhealthy. That may seem a little bit obsessive or restrictive, but here's the thing. If you're not going to be a little bit on the obsessive side about your health, no one is going to do it for you. The line is thin, and if you cross it, it's very easy to go overboard. So I personally would rather be a little bit on the neurotic, obsessive, restrictive side of consuming sugar and processed foods and foods that I know are damaging for my health, not from a fear point, but from a stance of I'm going to take care of my body the best way that I know how. And one of the best ways that I know how is to make sure that I am consuming food that builds my body up. It doesn't take away from it. One of your greatest weapons of defense is educating yourself about what healthy eating actually looks like. Then when you look to other people or you're hearing advice come from other people's mouths, you know whether that rings true for you or whether it doesn't. And here's the thing, cutting out sugar is not easy. When you start to look at food labels and really look at what you're consuming in a week, in a day, it's pretty surprising how much sugar sneaks into everything that we eat. If you're eating a diet that's high in processed food, most likely you're eating a diet that's high in sugar. If you are a healthy eater, but you're still consuming a lot of those natural sugars or diet foods or low-fat foods, God help you, but you're probably then consuming either synthetic ingredients or you're consuming a lot of sugar. Maple syrup, honey, coconut sugar is still sugar. They may be on the healthier side, but if you overconsume them, it's going to trigger a response in you to keep consuming sugar more and more and more. So you have to be so careful about the amount of sugar that you're consuming. Here is my guideline, and this is my guideline, what I coach my clients, what I try to live by myself as much as I can. I try to consume no more than 10 grams of added sugar per day, and maybe even less, and maybe around like the 5-gram mark. How do I do that? Great question. Everything that I make is very healthy, it's very clean, it's organic, it's natural. When I do use sugar, if I find a recipe that calls for, say, half a cup of sugar, I'll use a 1/4 cup of sugar, and it will be coconut sugar, it won't be white sugar. I don't even own white sugar or brown sugar or any of those kinds of sugars. The sugar that I consume is such a small amount because doing so has made the biggest impact on my health, on my weight, on my physique. I've never felt better than I have since I stopped consuming so much sugar. One of the biggest culprits that I find with people with sugar consumption is liquid sugars. These are the first things that have to go, or sugars that turn liquid and dissolve into liquids when you consume them. Pop, juice, wine, alcohol. So spirits obviously don't have as much sugar, but what are you consuming the spirits with? sugar in your coffee, sugar in your tea, yogurt, ice cream. Those are the big things that really spike our blood sugar like that. If you can cut out liquid sugars from your diet as much as you possibly can, and I'm not saying this is you can never have these things again or that I never consume them, but it's pretty rare. Like it's pretty rare. And then when you do consume them, you can actually enjoy them. You're not affecting your body as much. You're not damaging your liver from the overload of sugar that people consume every single day. And it's much better for your health. That is the biggest thing I think that we need to watch out for is liquid sugars, added sugars. I write about this in my book, Food Rehab for Food Junkies. If you have not picked up your copy, go and pick it up. I have a whole section in my book on sugar. I list all the names of sugar, all the hidden names that sugar falls under. And when you start to read your ingredient labels, you will be shocked at just how much sugar goes into everything that you eat. And some of the worst foods are those found in the health food store that are claiming to be healthy because people are buying them like they're getting paid for it and they're consuming them and they're not seeing the weight changes that they want. They're not seeing the health that they want because they're still consuming a bunch of added sugar. It's just in the form of these natural sweeteners. So that's my health tip and video for today. How much sugar do you think you consume? Start to read your food labels. Start to make note of the amount of sugar that you're actually consuming, and then ask yourself, do you need to actually consume these? Are there different alternatives for you? On my Instagram, jaded.nutrition, I have recipe after recipe of different baked goods and meals, all that are low in sugar. You can always find alternatives. There are a ton of recipe bloggers out there as well that feel as passionate about low sugar as I do, and it's making a big difference. It's making a difference on our health. It's making a difference on our waistline. If we want to see obesity and heart disease go down, we need to stop consuming so much sugar. So that is my motivation for you. Look at the amount of sugar that you're consuming, how much liquid sugar you're consuming. That's the first to go, or to at least drastically reduce, and then go from there and see how you feel. And your taste buds will catch up to it. Things will start to taste better than they did before. If you're very used to eating lots of sugar, then things maybe won't taste as good, but they will over time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jaded Nutrition. Give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to share it with your friends. All right, that's it for now. Have a good day. Bye-bye.